What is going on, people? It's Matt from Liquid Loans. In this video, I'm joined by a very, very special guest. This guy is the pioneer of UK hex streamers, a tried and tested fan favorite, the one, the only, the hexiest man on YouTube himself, Hexy Bastard.
What an intro, man. Thank you.
What an intro. Yeah, you got to do it, man, especially when I get people like you on, characters like you, man. I need to give you the proper props. How's it going, mate?
Very, very well. Thank you very much. Yeah. How are you doing today, mate?
Yeah, good, man. Good. Working hard as usual and just, checking up on the market, seeing what's going on. How are you feeling? Actually, before we get into that, because we've got a lot to talk about. Obviously, a lot of people know you, but there's a few, on the other side of the pond that maybe don't.
Sure loads. I think you're giving me too much credit here, mate.
No, man. No, you're a staple in the UK hexagons, but for the people that don't know who you are, maybe we can get a little bio and background about, yourself, crypto, and how you got into hex.
Okay, sure. So actually, I'm a noob when it comes to crypto because I only really got in about a year and a half ago, and I just like everyone was buying Bitcoin, and then I quickly got into I had like spot, but then I got into margin trading as well, and just got wrecked and lost a lot. And then when Bitcoin crashed 50% around, when was it, like May last year, that's when I found Richard Hart. And I didn't immediately get into the whole thing. It took me a couple of weeks because I didn't pay much attention at first. But then when I figured it out, I just shoved everything into hex, and I've just been buying hex ever since. But I'm good at buying bottoms and not buying tops.
That's how you win. That's how you win.
Yeah. And I basically set the channel up around like November just to take the piss, really. And take just go on a journey with people because I'm still learning. I'm just a student like everyone else, and just seeing what we can do.
Yeah, man. Like I said, you're the pioneer of the UK streamers. You were the first UK hex streamer, pretty much. I know there's a few guys who are in hex before you on streams. But...
Yeah. There's a few guys from around here, but definitely I was like very active with the community over here because I'm just always in the Telegram group chatting away. So,
and also though, you started, and then before you know it, you've got like a lot of like your streams, your Sunday streams became like a popular like magnet for like all the hexagons.
Yeah. I need to bring them back really because they sort of dropped off the radar. We used to do it every Sunday, and there'd be like, I don't know, there'd just be loads of us, yourself included, many times as well. Yeah. And we would chat about hex and then chat about all sorts of whatever else was going on. And obviously it's kind of been, because when I started my stream, that was basically the start of the hex bear market, and it's just been bearish ever since, really, up until still kind of now. It's it's looking better, but it's not really been in an uptrend at all. I feel like I should maybe go away for a little while and see if it starts pumping, and then come back and see if it goes down again. I don't know. Maybe we'll test it one day. If it keeps going down, I'll definitely disappear for a week or two.
Yeah, let's see. Let's maybe do like a week on, week off, and then like look at the charts and see what happens.
Yeah.
Listen, you said you're good at buying bottoms and not tops, and the title of the stream is the bottom in. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's definitely going to be close to the bottom. It's been going down for a while, and I don't think it's been like painful really, unless you bought really, really high up, right? But if you're buying big green candles, this is just to be as expected, isn't it? You don't really want to be buying giant green weekly or monthly candles. You just want to buy the red ones, or find something that you like and just wait for a good dip that you're comfy with. But then knowing it can still go down they can always go down 80% or more sometimes, can't they? So you just have to be ready for that. And also it can take a while as well. So anyone who bought hex at like the 20+ cent range, that's kind of sad for you guys at the moment, but it will come back, and it will come back way higher one day. It's just about having a good time frame. That's all. It's not a get rich quick thing at all. But when it does pop, it will pop really, really hard, and everyone will be surprised.
Yeah, when hex runs, it runs hard. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt about that. We've been in a hex bear market, right, since we hit that top back in September. We've definitely, been waterfalling down. Do you think the rest of because some people are saying the rest of the market's in a sideways market. Do you think the rest of the market, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and those top coins are in a bear market or in a sideways market? What do you think?
I think they're probably looking better now, but again, honestly, like I'm not really sure because, like I say, I'm a noob and I've been around. I haven't been around that long, but I have spent a lot of time looking at charts, and I do look at the old charts and look at how they went. But living through the moment, I'm sure, is very different to just looking at a chart. Of all of this. And You know, the emotion that comes with trading is absolutely phenomenal, and you know, I wouldn't recommend it. It's not for the lighthearted at all.
Especially leverage, man. I think we've all been there.
Yeah.
We've all like, I mean, I think our story is pretty similar, right? I think you said this before when I did my first video on my channel, and it's like you get into crypto obviously because you want to beat inflation and you want to make gains, but then you're like, it's not fast enough though, is it? So like, let's go 10x leverage, let's God forbid 50x, and then you just get obliterated.
I don't mind admitting it that I've like gone 50 or 100x leverage just with small amounts of money every time, but I've never ever really won. I think one time I actually got a good amount out of it, but like the amount that I lost, it's like going to the casino and just playing roulette, because they just these exchanges, I firmly believe that they just liquidate people for fun. They'll send the wicks wherever it's going to eliminate the most people, because they can do that very easily. They can just totally do it. It's derivatives trading. It's different. There's nothing you can do about it. It will go right past your stop loss. You're dead. You know. Yeah. So I don't like these exchanges at all. But I would just treat that as a casino kind of experience. I would try and use some tactics for it, but it would, you know, it never really worked for me. So.
Man, it ruins you. And that's why when you get into Hex, right? I think me and you both got into Hex last year. It's just so chill, isn't it? You buy it, you stake it. And of course, you've been dollar cost averaging into zips and stuff. But on the whole, it's just that trustless yield and that whole new, that real DeFi 2.0, basically.
Yeah. And definitely for those who have a long time preference, you don't even need to see much movement in the price to make it a solid investment. The price could stay exactly the same as it is. If you've got like a 10 or 15 year stake, you're still going to cream it. You will do better than you would on any exchange, stock or bond or anything. And that's without any price movement whatsoever. And over time, it is going to go up. It just will. It's just, you know, that's where you get the mega gains anyway. But if it does appreciate in price, it's going to be mad gains. So,
yeah, and also you eliminate all that stress of worrying about the charts. I mean, even if you're not leverage trading, right? Trying to find, you know, entries and exits is stressful as hell. But just locking up, and obviously, you know, with PulseChain coming as well, and all these different other protocols which have followed the Richard Hart ethos, it's like, why would you ever bother trying to, you know, get a bit on Bybit or, you know, play around with leverage trading or whatever, because it's just such a gamble compared to what's coming down the pipe. And talking about PulseChain, what are your thoughts on it? Like, are we going live soon?
Well, actually, I don't know if you caught any of the stream that Richard was just doing.
I did.
He mentioned that mainnet might come within a month. On this, I don't know if he just said that out of context, but he said like V2B's going now and mainnet's coming, you know, maybe within a month. He said that, but then a day or two on Twitter, he said sort of the opposite. So I don't really know what to.
What did he say on Twitter a couple of days before?
That it's not ready yet. You'll know, because the next thing I'm gonna do is release this thing to check your sack balances, and then the next thing will be this, and blah 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 blah. And so yeah, anyway, he was gonna. There's more to come before we know that, but he did say on this stream that he just did, where he's debating with this Bitcoin maxi guy who didn't know a thing about it, man. Yeah. You get the only thing is that you know, Richard, he doesn't let them make themselves sound stupid enough, because he interrupts too quickly. So if he just let them talk, then they would talk themselves out of the argument.
Hang themselves, give them enough rope.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but yeah, he smashed him though anyway. But he said, yeah, maybe in a month or two. But I think it's coming around summertime, definitely. I mean, we're close to summertime now anyway.
I mean, obviously, you know, software always gets pushed back, as we know, because we've been waiting for PulseChain since last summer. But I mean, I'm sure you've used the testnet. I mean, everything's working pretty crispy from what I can see, you know. PulseX, have you played around with it?
Nope. I have not.
Oh, really?
I actually have not. No, I haven't fucked around with it at all. Oh, sorry. I have not. I have not messed around with it too much at all. I did try and go and check my sack balances, but they're not showing. There's nothing there.
Okay.
I've just got like a little scrap of pulse. I've got like 0.0013 pulse because I've got like 24p in my account.
You know what though? Make sure you're on the right wallet address, because I did that before. Obviously, I've got loads of wallets on MetaMask, and I was like, where's my sack? You know, where's my sack balance for ages? And I was like, I didn't sack from this account.
Yeah.
So
no, I've checked all of them, man. I've checked everything I've got, and yeah, it's not showing at the moment. But I'm remaining calm. It's all okay.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's lots of stuff doing. They're still indexing the blockchain, and yeah, there's obviously going to be stuff to do, but it looks kind of close, man. It looks close-ish. So obviously I'd love it. I think we'd all love it within a month, but by the summertime, I mean, you know, at least. How do you feel about it compared to ETH 2.0? Because there's rumors that's coming out in the summer, but obviously,
yeah, but there's been rumors about that for years, so I'm told. So like, I don't know. The thing is, when ETH 2.0 comes out, this is something that Richard says, is that that's going to have a lot more problems with it because it's not battle tested, and it's more likely to have bugs and all of these things going on with it. So whereas PulseChain is not going to have that problem because it's a fork of this existing state, so it should be fine, right? Because it's already battle tested and everything like that.
Yeah.
So I also think, well, I'm pretty sure that PulseChain's got better parameters, like the speed's better, the fees will still be better, because ETH 2.0 doesn't solve the fee problem specifically. It might make it a little bit better, but until you're getting transactions under like at least $1 again or something, it's not going to be very feasible. Because even now, when they're more reasonable, I'm still paying, you know, $20 to do something, you know, $10 to $20 to do a swap or something. Although, cheers for the cow swap recommendation, because I have been using that. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, when I found that, I was like, this is great. Like, cheaper fees, and obviously the fee comes from, you know, the token you're receiving. So I was like, right, got to let the community know about that. But it's funny, isn't it? I was talking to someone else, I think it was Matty Crypto, about this last week. It's funny how we reframe things, because we're like, oh, it's only $10 or $20 at the moment on Ethereum, which is still absurd, which is still absolutely absurd.
It's mental. It cuts the little guy out completely. And even some of the bigger guys won't pay it, just out of principle, you know? I mean, it's nowhere near as bad as it was when we, you know, when Hex was having this big run up and everyone was FOMO in it. The gas fees kind of did me a favor, because I probably would have been buying at the time, like all the way up to 40, 50 cents. I probably would have been putting everything I could in. But the $89 or more every time you want to buy, come on, man. You can't justify that unless you're putting a lot of money in, right? And that's like the minimum. And then, you know, when you want to stake it, it'll be like another $40.
My brother at the time, I think, around that top, my brother was swapping some Bitcoin into Hex. Obviously into Ethereum, and then buying Hex, and he had a transaction which was about $300 on Uniswap, and it failed.
Oh no!
And then he had to do it again. So he probably spent $500 in gas that night. Now it was
poor guy, man.
Yeah, he was changing a lot. Like he was getting out of Bitcoin completely and into Hex, but I mean, $500, you know, 300 for one failed one and 200 for the one that went through. It's just despicable. So it's funny now that we're like, oh, it's great. It's only $10 to start a stake, or it's only $20 for a swap. Which, we've reframed it because it was so expensive. But it's still ludicrous. And obviously, I'm a bit worried when I hear ETH 2.0 could come out in the summer. But then again, let's be honest, they've got so much to do, right? They got to get all of, you know, change it from the miners, from proof of work to proof of stake, and then I doubt it's going to come out, especially in a seamless fashion. And just
they've been talking about it for forever, and you know, it's been on the roadmap, and it just, the actual ETH 2.0 doesn't sound as good as PulseChain is going to be anyway. And think of all the liquidity farming and everything we're going to have going on over here. It's just going to be its own amazing ecosystem. And we've got more capacity to run better stuff than Ethereum does. So, you know, all this metaverse crap that people care about, all this VR stuff, they're not going to run that on ETH if it's like, even if it is only $5 a transaction, they're not going to run that on ETH.
Going to do that. I want to go into Decentraland. I've got to pay $20 to get through a door or something, or I need to. That's ridiculous.
Exactly. Like I want to click the button to like claim my XP, and it's going to cost me $100. Like no. So none of that will be happening on ETH, but I'm hearing about projects that are going to, you know, route even on Ethereum. They're going to route via PulseChain, do their thing, and then come back over. Potentially happening, and that would be awesome, because I mean, I'm sure loads of people are thinking about doing this, because then people would be using PulseChain without even realizing it. And guess who benefits from that? Us, because we own the coins.
Exactly. We own. You know, I think I've mentioned this quite a few times. I don't know if you've seen Jex's video on it, but he's like, if you own like PulseX, the loan token, Hex, you own parts of all this ecosystem, and you're just getting paid every time somebody uses another part of it. So
yep,
it's amazing. So what's your play going to be when PulseChain goes live?
So I'm not like a big player or anything. I'm gonna just be accumulating. I'll be buying up dips if a dip comes. Yeah, I'll just be trying to load up. I'm not going to be selling anything. I'm just going to be accumulating wherever I can. But even with the bit that I've got now, I feel like that would be enough to like totally make it if I just was to wait a year or two. You know, it might even launch at a price that's ridiculous for everyone.
Yeah. I hope so.
Because I think the rate we paid was like 3 zeros and a 1, right? The 10,000 to 1. Let me just divide this. I think it was. Hang on, 1 divided by 10,000. Yeah, 3 zeros and a 0.0001. That's like the base price that everyone kind of paid without any multipliers or anything like that. So like most people were getting that price. So you know, if you put $100 in, you'd be getting, you know, however many that is. But besides the point, that's sort of the starting price. So if it starts at say a penny, everyone's up. Is that 100x straight away? No, that's 10x straight away. If it starts at 1 penny, starts at 10p, everyone's up 100x. And where do you draw the line? Because people, if they're up that much immediately, there is going to be a sell-off. So there will be a dip because people aren't going to just hold through that madness. If they're up 100x like minute 1, they're going to sell it. So there'll be an opportunity there somewhere. But it's just like how far does it go? You won't be able to measure it. It won't make sense. It could go down 99% from the start price or something initially on like that minute 1 launch or whatever. But over time it will settle. But that price point got me like kind of bullish actually, because we've seen other things come along recently that have had like way more decimal places in front of that, and they've just gone mad. And yeah, anyway, it's just one of them things, man. I just think we're all in for mad gains. We just got to hold.
Yeah, I think like you said, I think it was Hedron, right, where people were they're frothing for it so much, right, that when Hedron came out, and even though it's not a direct RH project, it's related to the system. You know, we saw 15x within the first week or so, which was just nuts.
It's mad. So it was mad.
Can you imagine what PulseChain is going to do? And earlier you said, just a minute ago, you said, yeah, I'm going to just have some dry powder and buy the dips. But what dips is that on PulseX, Hex, or all 3 of those?
So I probably won't buy PulseX because I've got like a more gigantic bag, like a way more gigantic bag of that. The one that I want is Pulse, really, because that's the one I will have the least of. I mean, it depends what's cheaper out of Pulse and Hex, to be honest. What's a better deal? Because there is a good chance that Hex takes an absolute dip, like because all that value from all the hexagons that's got the liquid hex available is going to spread out amongst all of this ecosystems. It's quite likely that Hex has a giant dip. But let me just theorize quickly for a second. If Richard Hart at any point announces, oh, hey, Pulse is coming at some point in the next week, what's the first thing that all the liquidity providers are going to go and do? They are going to go and remove all the liquidity. So there's no liquidity. And what's the one thing that everyone wants going into PulseChain? Hex. Yeah. No, everyone wants Hex because so there's no liquidity and everyone wants the Hex because that's the only thing that's going to really have like a proper core value from like minute 1. That's going to have whatever the USD ETH side price is. That's going to be sort of like the baseline that they're going to try and keep it to. So everything's going to be valued around that. And so that value is going to have to spread out is what I'm saying. So, I mean, it might not go down, you know, cataclysmically, but it will have a dip after that. But it might have like a super mega run up in the next few weeks leading up to it because everyone's removed their liquidity and there's no one selling. Everyone's just buying. So it could explode 10x, 20x, whatever, very quickly because right now there's so much liquidity. It's hard to move the price. So yeah, that's sort of what I think what is going to happen. Hex is going to have like a giant mega pump just before.
Yeah, I think it will rip. I think it will rip. I mean, people, again, it's buy one, get one free. And especially, I mean, look how it ripped just after the PulseChain sack, thinking that PulseChain was coming out. But if you're told, right, it's going to be out in a month, I'm sure he's not going to give a hard date, but, you know, around a month or so, then it's going to start to rip. Talking about PulseChain, though, when it comes out, everyone loves a price prediction. And you said we start at maybe, no, sorry, we brought it 0.0001, and I saw Gerardo's from doing some some maths around it that he thought it could be around 0.0017 starting price. Have you got any predictions for starting price and short term, 3-6 months in the year?
It depends what you mean. Do you mean like the minute the first price, the initial price?
Yeah. What do you think it could start at?
It could start like kind of high and then go down. It kind of depends. Like, it's going to be the first person who sets the liquidity that will kind of set the price, really. So, but what I think it will do is it will settle at some point at like maybe a 2 or 3x above what people paid for it. I think that might be like the dip range that you could be looking at potentially, is like very kind of close to that 10,000 to 1 ratio that we paid for it. It might happen. If it starts at a high price, I think it will go all the way down there. If it starts at a more realistic, like 2 or 3x higher than that price, then no one will sell it at that, and then it will just be up and to the right forever. There won't ever have been a dip, kind of thing, from there until it does. So it's kind of hard to predict, and I've never really been around for a project like this. I feel like it depends where it's listed. It depends what people can do with it and where the on ramps and off ramps are and stuff like that. But I reckon within a month of launching, it will probably be up like 20 or 30x or something from that 10,000 to 1 ratio. So that
it's so interesting, isn't it? Because a lot of the sacrifices were hexagons, and then obviously the people that got brought into the system, like new hexagons and pulsecons, they've kind of been educated on the delayed gratification. So yeah, there'll be a few people dumping on a couple of X or a 10x or a 20x, but if you're around the PulseChain ecosystem, nobody cares about that, do they? They want hundreds, thousands of X. So it could be very interesting.
It's true, yeah. I mean, it will definitely do it, but definitely, like, from looking at what happened with that Hedron chart, that went up, as you said, like I think it was a 14x or something. It actually did, from very bottom to very top. And even that was too much for people. They were like, no, I'm fucking selling this. I'm getting rid of this. But there are other people on the flip side who are just buying it up because they believe in the project. And it's sort of like PulseChain's got that much hype around it. There's a lot of people who missed the sacrifice who are dying to get in. They are absolutely dying to get in. And hopefully they're smart and they do the dollar cost averaging type thing. And they don't just throw all their money at it on the first very price or whatever. You've got to, I don't know what the right play is here, but I don't think throwing all your money at it day one is like the right play if you've missed out on the sack. But a lot of people will probably do that. So that's why it could moonshot and then dip really, really hard and then eventually moonshot again. But yeah, it'll
I mean, what you just said is completely logical, but remember, humans aren't logical or rational. You should never chase a pump, but when I say we, as humans, hopefully I've learned this already, and you have too, but humans in general, they can't, when they see green candle after green candle after green candle going parabolic, they have to jump in, where that's illogical, because that's going to come back at some point.
It could do. I mean, sometimes it doesn't, but like eventually it could. And it's just, it's so hard to judge, man. Like, and I was thinking about this the other day, that like it's so much easier to onboard people when it is in that parabolic stage, because like you'd think right now would be the best time. Like, I'm really trying to get it out there to people now, but they're much less likely to buy it because it's in the red or whatever. And you're just like, yeah, but that's the best time to buy. Why would you buy it? Why would you buy it at a higher price when you think it could, maybe do that again? Anyway, crowd mentality is stupid. Like, people on their own are quite logical, but when they follow a crowd, or because a chart is a crowd, you're looking at hundreds of people's different actions, and it's just displayed in this method of data, and you get lured into these things. So yeah, it's a mad world, mate. It's
crazy. It's crazy. And like you said, on their own, people were like, no, I wouldn't do that. But I think there's a book called The Madness of Crowds that talks about it really well, about like, if you go to like a rock concert, right, or whatever, or a music festival, and there's girls that would like never get naked are suddenly getting naked in the front row, you know what I mean? Or you go to like you go to a protest about something, and people that would never throw a brick through a window are suddenly throwing bricks through windows. There is that kind of madness that gets caught up in the hype. And of course, crypto or trading, it's digital, but it's the same thing, man. Like, you see a chart going parabolic and you think, I'm sure you've done it too. You're like, I'm going to miss out here if I don't jump in now. And so
Oh
of
yeah,
course,
I've done it with other stuff, definitely. I've been very good with Hex. Like I say, the gas fees saved me a little bit, but yeah, I've never bought it above 17 cents. I think that was the highest, and that was only a little one.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm good, mate, and I've been around for a while now.
Yeah, that takes some minerals, man. Because I saw Jenkins. You know who Jenkins is? He's a YouTube streamer.
Yeah.
And he was showing the charts of the day, and I think like saying it never comes back, but a lot of the time it does. For example, I think we're touching levels now, which were he drew a box, and it basically went from it was a level that was like at the sacrifice phase last year that we never touched again, and it's literally come all the way back down and touched it. You know what I mean? So
yeah. There's always opportunity, man. Like the chart will just, it's so volatile over time that like, you might well get it, but then there are people who get left behind waiting for that big dip and it just never comes and they miss out.
Of course. I mean, no one's got a crystal ball, but
but it's still better missing out in a way than buying the big green candle and potentially losing 80% of your money and then having to wait 3 years or 2 years maybe to get it back or something like that, like you would in some of the other assets out there. So yeah, it's just a gamble. It's always a gamble, man. Because even Hex now, if it was to go back down to like the bottom of this longer bull flag thing that it's doing, like if it wasn't a triangle and it was just like a 2-wave thing, it would go all the way to like 7.5 cents. So like I'm not buying anymore at the moment because I already loaded up anyway around the like 12 cent region, but I'll buy more if it goes down past that again. You know, I'm just gonna wait now because it's looking better, but it's still got to show some proper strength, man, because it's been very limp. It needs a big push out of nowhere to catch everyone out. And I just don't think it will happen until Pulse is like on the way. You know.
So you think when Pulse is announced, it starts to get bullish again?
Well, no, I think it's sort of 50-50 at the moment. It's hard to say where we are now. If over the next few days, if it does go higher, and like right now, if it got above 25, I would be like mega bullish if it got above that, because that, or especially if it got above 35, because that's then a higher high. So yeah, I would be then. But right now, where is it now? 14.7. It's like bit higher, and then I'm mega bullish again. But it could still easily dip down to this next level where I had marked out around the bottom of that sacrifice phase stage, exactly where Jenkins, like probably where he drew this box, it sort of tapped it, right? But it could easily just go back into that accumulation zone one more time, and then it goes up. Like, who knows? But that's why you don't really want to time the markets. So like I made a mistake when I got into Hex of doing a 1-year stake. There was really no point, because the amount of capital I was putting in, it's like only if the price did like a 10 or 20x would it even be worth it, because of the ETH fees, right? Because I didn't research it properly. So
I've got one of my yearly Hex stake coming out. Where are we now? We're in March, and not long really, and we'll see how that is going to fare in regards to ETH gas fees. So what is your play going to be when PulseChain goes live? Are you going to start migrating, like, when your stakes come out, over to PulseChain, bridging across, or selling? And then, or are you going to you're going to have both on both chains?
Good question. I'm not really sure. It kind of depends where the markets are at the time. So like if a Hex stake comes out and I don't really need it or for anything, and I'm just going to reinvest it in something, I could either restake it all for like however long I want to do it, or I could say if the Pulse price is quite low, Pulse has dipped a lot, maybe I just sell it all for Pulse, and that might be a good trade.
I mean, that's one thing that you could trade for, like Hex for Pulse. I mean, those two things are going to be, a lot of the time, not moving in tandem exactly, but they're part of the same ecosystem, and you can't really go wrong really trading, well, in my opinion anyway, in your opinion, trading Hex for Pulse, and obviously anything that's with the Richard Hart, stamp of approval, or in the ecosystem. What are you most excited about then with PulseChain going live? Is it just seeing the Pulse price? Is it seeing your
mad gains?
Mad
gains. I just want mad gains, man. I want like hundreds, thousands of X's, man. That's what I'm here for. I want money.
And what are you going to be doing with your Pulse? Are you going to be delegating it to a validator? Are you going to be
probably. I'll definitely be doing something. I'll be staking it in some way, or doing something with it. And then if it's kind of hard to know what to do. So I'll be staking like the PulseX and doing whatever I can do with that. And like, because it's all just yield upon yield upon yield, right? And I've seen all these
Gains
like things. Yeah, it's just gains on gains on gains. And there's just like everything's staking mechanism. Then you get this token and then you can stake that and you can get this other token, or you can get this, or you know, there's all sorts of mad things going on. And it kind of just depends on, it really depends on where the price goes, because I just don't want to sell anything until, or even like remotely take any profits out really until it's life changing. You know, that's what I'm here for. So when it gets to that stage, I'll start getting myself out. But what I want to do right now is just like build up positions and stuff. So I just want to buy shit that's down, and then we'll see. But it's going to be crazy to see what happens, man.
And there's so many different plays, like you said, and I think the easiest play, you know, is obviously delegating your Pulse to a validator, and then on PulseX, staking in the single staking pools on PulseX. Now, of course, there's liquidity providing and all that, but that could be quite risky with the price, you know, running up. You get a lot of impermanent loss and stuff like that. So there is.
I've not much looked into I've thought about doing a bit of liquidity farming, but I don't like the idea of getting left with the thing that's like the least valuable, you know, if the price goes against you. So that's not good.
Yeah, I mean, with LP, if the price runs out of your range, you'd have to wait for it to come back to your range to get, you know, your 2 halves back. And of course, especially with a new chart, that could take off quite quickly and not come back. So yeah, I mean, obviously everyone needs to do their own research, and if you're quite experienced with it, you've done it before on Ethereum, then that could be your play. But an easy play would be just to take your PulseX and put it in the staking pools, which I've done before on PancakeSwap. Do you ever use PancakeSwap?
Yeah. I used it a couple of times. Yeah.
So you've got the syrup pools there, and you can take your cake token and then stake them, single side stake them, right? So you can stake for more cake. You can stake for, I don't know, other tokens on the
cake.
Stake for cake, or you can, so you put cake in and you get more cake, right? Or you can stake and get, I don't know, other tokens on the BSC network. And that's what's going to happen on PulseX. Obviously, the people in the DAO are going to vote on what pools are going to get what and stuff like that. So yeah, there's so many ways to get gains on gains. But like you said, just hodling is going to be pretty fruitful for most people. The only thing is, like we said, most people aren't logical and rational because, you know, they say they want to sit on their hands. And of course, when they see massive X's, they're going to try and get cute. So what's going to be you'll just lock it up and just, you know, wait for life money.
Yeah, I mean, again, it sort of depends. Like, so there are certain things that I would be maybe willing to sell. I think if like, it depends what the chart does, because if it moves, what I've noticed about things is if they move up too parabolically, they're just going to have to go down again, right? So I might experiment with like risking off tiny bits here and there and just getting little bits into stables and then waiting for dips, like rather than taking it out, just getting it into a stable and then waiting for a dip and then maybe increase the position size, right? But it's just, that's a patient waiting game if you want to play it like that. But it probably is a solid strategy with what I've been seeing, because I do look at charts a lot now, and when they go parabolic like that, they always come back down at least once for a retest, at least once.
They love that 0.618 level on the Fibonacci.
Yeah. They do. See, I don't even really know my Fibonacci's that well, man. Like I draw them and they look pretty, but like I don't really understand them yet. So. I mean,
it's pretty simple. You know, local bottom to local top. And I mean, I'm no TA expert at all, but if you watch Jenkins stream, right, and he doesn't use any indicators, doesn't use any MACD or any RSI or anything, he used that Fibonacci. And again, this is a real simple rule, like you just said. If you see a parabolic run up, of course, obviously there's obviously going to be some exceptions to the rule, but I'd say 99.9% of the time it's going to come back and touch that 618 at least, you know, maybe more, because the thing is, if you got in early, like Hedron or whatever, and you're looking at a 10, 15, 20, and obviously other coins, hundreds of X, are you going to be staring at those gains, or are you going to be like, no, it's time to take some off the table? So obviously everyone needs to do their own research, but like you said, it's a pretty good idea to have some stable coins and some dry powder ready for those dips, because they'll come, you know. Yeah,
yeah, they will, mate. They will, and that's what I want to. Like, I've got a bag that's just like long-term hodling, and yeah, I'll probably put like 95% of all of my PulseX and all of my PulseChain sacrifice gets put away and I'm never to be touched. And then I'll just add to that position with like the money that I make from the trades that I do. But I'll only play with a little bit, and then I don't know really like how it's going to go. But like you say, there is going to be a lot of opportunities to like sell tops and buy bottoms there, and I will be looking for them as much as I can, because I just want to improve on that position size. So yeah, I think we're going to see some whenever you see them gigantic green candles that you just thought couldn't exist, then yeah, you should be selling into those and buying into the other opposite, where like it's the giant red candles that you thought could never happen. But you just have to be ready. So yeah, stable coins are the way, man. Like you need stable coins.
Well, as you know, Liquid Loans is going to have a stable coin, USDL. Hopefully there'll be some other ones as well. So yeah, stable coins at the ready, man. Obviously it's great. It's wishful thinking the chart's going to go, up and to the right and never come back. But when people make a lot of money, they're going to take profits. Simple as that. So yeah. Here's a funny comment from Phil. HB cough, talk about liquid loans, isn't it? Will you be using liquid loans? Obviously, it's not a short
I sacrificed for it. Yeah, I did. Okay. I told you I got in like, so I was sort of at a weird crossroads with it, because it was at the same sort of time as PulseX, SAC, and then Hex price was looking tasty, and there was loads of things going on, right? And I'm a man of limited income, so I didn't really know like where to place my money or what to do with it or anything like that. But God bless you, Hedron, for coming along and making me a bit of mad gains. So I managed to get a little sack in on like the last day. So I got the worst rate, but it was still better because it was like money that I didn't even like technically have. It was just like gains. So I got in with the gains. So, but yeah, anyway, I'm excited about it. I must admit, like, I don't really fully understand how it works. I know even Jesse came on my show and did explain it to me. And even then I still didn't really like, but only because I'm a noob. But I understand the concept that it's you're going to be able to provide this stable coin, which is fantastic because we definitely need that. And also people can loan against their pools. So I was definitely intending to use it whenever if I'm in a position where I'm looking to sell pools, then I'm going to use it, because like, why would you actually sell it when you still have a chance to buy it back at like a cheaper price later or whatever?
Yeah, well, obviously, the basic tenet of it, which is obviously borrowing and lending, right? Using Pulse as collateral. But you were just talking about stable coins earlier and how, you're going to have, sometimes you're going to, trade out if there's been parabolic run-ups into stable coins and wait for dips. Well, while you're waiting for those dips, you could take that stable coin and park it in the stability pool for liquid loans. No time lock. But when you're parked in the stability pool, you're going to earn, when other vaults are liquidated, you earn a part of that pulse because the stability providers earn the liquidated pulse. Plus, you're also incentivized with loan token, right? I mean, you can take that loan token and put it in the loan staking pool. So gone are the days where if you've got stablecoin, I'm just waiting, it's in my MetaMask or it's on my hardware wallet, I'm just waiting for a dip. You could park that in the stability pool and earn more pulse.
Yeah, and earn yield on it. And that's great as well. Yeah.
And no lockup. So when you need it, pull it. If you've got bills to pay, you need it, bang. Or if a dip comes in on a coin that you love, pull it out of the stability pool. So it's mind-blowing, man, when you think about the old days of crypto where it was like buy Doge or buy whatever or buy Ethereum and just price appreciation and dump. Now it's like we got Hex, the savings account, we got PulseX, the exchange where the buy and burn, we've got Pulse, which is deflationary, and then we've got the bank, the central bank, liquid loans, and also you can use that system as well to park your stable coins. So I understand, like, even when I say to you, have you played with the Testnet or are you thinking about liquidity providing? It can be overwhelming. And this is only one small ecosystem. There's many other ecosystems in crypto. It is amazing, but overwhelming.
Yeah, there's loads, man. And it's becoming a multi-network world as well. Like the amount of bridges and things that are going to be coming across back and forth. And people might use liquid loans to extract value by buying Pulse and then selling it through liquid loans, just so that they've got like the way of, so it's pumpamentals everywhere. It's great.
Well, yeah, because obviously when you get liquidated, it's not like Bybit.
Nisha.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Your fans are in there. It's not like Bybit or a leverage exchange where it's like cascading liquidations, right? Nothing's sold. So if you got liquidated or anyone got liquidated, obviously we always advise everyone to safely collateralize 250, 300, 1,000%. Check the Haunted video for that strategy. But if you did get liquidated, nothing's sold on market. That gets distributed back to the stability pool. And depending on your size in the stability pool, you're going to get a share of that pulse along with loan token, because obviously you're a stability provider, and then take that loan token, stick it in the loan staking pool, and then earn USDL and Pulse. And that's just one system, right? Then you've got your HEX stakes, which you're obviously hopefully staked out for a long time. Your T-shares are bringing that. Then you've got your PulseX, and every time somebody uses the exchange, it's just burning more, making your thing more valuable. And you can also stick the PulseX in the PulseX pools. No risk at all, just single side staking. Man, it is just
it's crazy. Just gains everywhere, man. It's going to be amazing. Quick question. I don't know the answer to this one. So what can you put in your stability pool? What can you stake in there? Is it just USDL?
Just USDL. Yeah. So if let's say you were holding USDC, if there is a USDC or another a stable coin or whatever. But hopefully, USDL is going to be the premier stable coin on PulseChain. But let's say you were holding USDC, and let's theorize that it's got a 1-to-1 peg. You could just go to PulseX, swap that to USDL, right? Maybe incur a little bit of slippage or whatever, and then put that into the stability pool, and that's it. Park it there, collect Pulse, collect loan token, and then when you need it, pull it out. Same with the loan staking pool. There's no time lock on the loan staking pool. So
yeah.
And I'm not sure you've heard of this, but Jesse's called it the timeless T-share because because you're just collecting. HEX is great, but you make more HEX, right? With the loan token, you're not inflating the supply. You're not making more loan. You're making fees in the system, so USDL and Pulse. So what you get paid, or what you get back, obviously for being a loan staker, you're getting a percentage of those fees. You can now sell those without affecting the price of the loan token as well. So a lot of pumpamentals around that. But yeah, in the stability pool, it's just USDL, and then in the staking pool, it's the loan token.
Right. Cool.
It's just so many things, man. It's just so many things.
It's just yield upon yield upon yield. It's just awesome. I do like it, and I personally believe people should be really, really careful if they're going to be doing these plays and stuff, like with the strategies that people want to use and stuff like that, because you just got to be careful with your timing, man, because these dips are vicious, and just be ready. It could maybe go down more than 90%. You never know. You never know. So
it definitely could. Careful. It's crypto, and just like Richard says, 80 and 90% dips are in the game. The thing is, obviously, the only collateral that you can use on the Liquid Loans protocol is Pulse, right? And that's the native token of the blockchain. It's very rare that you're going to see a 90% dip quickly. In fact, I would say it's safe to say pretty much impossible. Not that it won't happen.
Yeah, not straight away. Yeah, it could happen, but like it's very unlikely. I do agree with you. You would have like a bit of a notice period, like you'd have a few days at least, or like maybe a week or something to see it might come.
And that would still be insane if Ethereum dipped like 90% in a week. Tell me the last time Ethereum dipped 90% in a week. Look at HEX,
I have no
right?
idea.
Did it ever do that? Maybe it's never happened. Maybe it's never happened. Maybe at the beginning.
Know.
But look at HEX, right? HEX has dipped what? 80% or not even, maybe 70 something percent since its all-time high. And that took how many months? 5 months, 6 months altogether?
Yeah, so the biggest dip I think HEX had is this big payday one, which was 87% thereabouts, and it was 18 days it took to do that.
But that was over a year ago, and that's still when it was, it was people were unsure about it.
How soon are you guys launching after launch? Because I know you were going to hold it back like a little while. I can't remember what period of time that was, but
I mean, obviously we can't, again, software, right? We can't say 4 more weeks, but obviously we want the network to calm down, and the price to stabilize a bit. 4 to 8 weeks, but again, I don't want to say it's definitely 4 weeks or it's definitely 8 weeks or whatever, because we don't know. And obviously why we're using, sorry, to go back to the other point I was talking about, why we're using, because people are asking, what can we use? PulseX, can we use HEX? And that could be possible in the future, right? Liquid Loans could do that. But why we're using pulses, if you look at the protocol we're forking, Liquidity, they use ETH. because even though obviously cryptos are unstable, the native coin of the chain is much more stable than the other coins. So even though Ethereum has its ups and downs, of course, it's much more stable than other ERC20s. So if Hex takes 6 months to dip 80%, right? What's ETH going to take? And that's what I'm going back to that point where people say you're going to get like wrecked on a flash wick or, you know, a flash crash or a scam wick. It's not going to happen. You're definitely not going to have it in a couple of days or even a couple of weeks. When you see, like you said, people should be careful. 100%. People should. The higher your collateral, the better. But if you see the market turning, unless you literally went away for a year and didn't look at it, that would be stupid.
Yeah, that would be stupid taking loans out if you know you're not going to be able to watch it or anything. Yeah, agreed.
So if you see the market turning, then you either pay back some of your loan or you over collateralize more. So this is how you stay safe. And no one wants anyone to get wrecked. And also another fallacy is, oh, the liquid loans team profit from it. No. The stability providers. This is a community bank. So the community provide the stability, and the community is part of the loan stakers, and they get the fees in the staking pool, and the stability providers get, you know, the liquidated pulse. So yeah, man, go back to your question. We don't know. Like we've between 4 and 8 weeks, but again, we need PulseX to launch. We need to be pulling price feeds from Pulse to launch and making sure obviously our audits are all done and everything like that. So
yeah, I heard you were going to be using a PulseX to pull your price feeds now. That's correct. Yeah. That's great, because that was one of the funny things that I heard early on, is you were going to use something else. I can't remember even what it was now, but obviously things have changed now. So yeah, that's great. Well, there's not going to be a more accurate exchange, is there, than the official exchange of the network?
Of course. We trust Richard Hart and we trust PulseX. It won't pull just from PulseX. There will be a number of places, but probably, you know, mainly price feeds coming from PulseX, some oracles, some other dexes, and then they'll aggregate it. So people crying about, oh, you know, a scam wick will liquidate positions and stuff. That's not going to happen, because if you
long does it? Oh, sorry, just finish your point. I was just going to ask, like, how long does it take to liquidate a position? Is there like a time buffer or anything like that, just to avoid the scam wick thing?
It's a manual liquidation. So let's say that you're at 110%, which is the minimum, and then you dip under to 109%. Your vault is now up for liquidation, but it doesn't mean you get liquidated. Somebody has to see it and then go and press the button, and that person gets rewarded, right? They get 200 USDL. So there's a reward in there for pushing the button. So there's some game theory there. So it's not like your position, you know, becomes under collateralized and then you get liquidated automatically, like Bybit or like leverage trading. It's not like that. Somebody has to manually go and push the button. So I'm sure there's going to be people every day searching through the vaults to see what vaults are risky, and as soon as they see one that's risky, they push the button and they get
what's to stop someone just setting up a bot to do that, though?
There's not. I'm sure someone will.
Oh, okay. So, but in essence, though, it could become like that, though. Like, so that's what my question is: is there any kind of time limit so that, like, someone, let's say, if it happened like right now, how quickly could someone hit that liquidate? I mean, I know it's going to happen immediately, which is probably right, because, as you say, if you let it go all the way to that level, then you kind of deserve it, right? Maybe they got no intention of actually paying it back, so it should get liquidated. But I'm just curious if there's like a time buffer. That's all.
No, there's no time buffer. I mean, obviously, if someone pushes the button, or if there's a bot that someone's programmed to do it, then it will go. But if no one pushes the button and there's no bot, then you could be under collateralized and still have control of that vault, and then go and put in some collateral. But again, I wouldn't advise anyone to be hanging around 110%, because if the market moves against you, if the market moves against you, you're going to be in, you know, liquidation territory. And, you know, again, people love to make money, man. As you know, man, people are peeping on the OA wallet every day. They're looking at what wallets are doing. Like, people are obsessed with looking at stuff online on the internet.
I've been watching God Whale a little bit lately.
Yeah, of course. So, and if there's money to be made, right? If there's an incentive, if I push the button, I get this. Then, you're going to see people do that. So how do you
and if no one had thought about it before, they definitely have now. So here we go. There's a bot coming.
exactly. And how do you avoid that? Stay safely collateralized. I'd say at least 250%, but really more. I mean, again, not financial advice. You have to do your own research, but 300, 400, 500. Haunted talks about the 1000% strategy. And that's a video on this channel. So yeah, man.
Well, by the sounds of that one, that's going to be like an army of buyers. They're just like constantly revolving door, just like buying and then running it through. It sounds, if it works, it's going to pump everyone's bags. So like, thank you guys if it does work. I can't participate because I ain't going to have enough to like really put, because you need like, I think it's 20 grand, right, to do the 1000%. So you need 20 grand and then you can take a 2,000 out or whatever, and you know, so I ain't gonna be putting 20 grand in something to be honest myself straight away. Maybe in a year, who knows. Let's have a go.
But you know, whether you do it or not, listen, whether you don't like liquid loans, you never want to touch it, if you hold Pulse, it's going to help your bags.
Yeah. I can definitely see it happening. Well, the idea of like never selling is great. Like, so the only selling you're going to see really on Pulse is like people who ain't really in touch with the system. So you're actually going to see a lot more long-term holding as well, as a result of that, because it's going straight into the hands of the people who are holding it anyway, and they're going to use this system to it's going to be great, man. Yeah.
It's going to be amazing, mate. So listen, what about you? What are your goals for like your content, your channel, and life in general?
I don't know really. Like, I quite enjoy. So in the short term, actually, I'm going to show this real quick. We're doing When Lambo this weekend in Aylesbury, which is, we're basically sponsoring. Well, shout outs to Cromwell who organised it. It's a Lamborghini which is going to be in the GT Cup, which is all over the UK. It's going to be on TV in like 12 different countries or something like that. It's pretty cool. So yeah, and that's wrapped up in Hex stuff, and we're doing a little launch thing for that where we're just going to reveal the car and whatever, and then we've got races all over the UK for like 7 weeks. But yeah, that's a short-term thing that I'm helping out with. We're doing some events in the UK here and there as well. Keep an eye out for those. But in terms of the channel, I quite enjoy just like, I think I enjoy doing things like this, just chatting to people and cracking jokes. And I like the ones that we did in the past as well, where there's a lot of us. I need to bring these back because some of the funniest moments in my life actually have happened on these streams. And yeah, it's just class, man. I just love hanging out with the community. I want to make mad gains, and if I make mad gains, then more cool shit will happen. So let's all keep buying, yeah.
100%, mate. Yeah, listen, where can people find out more about you and your content and what's not?
Literally, it's just at Hexy Bastard on Twitter and Hexy Bastard on YouTube. If you search that, you will find me.
Everyone go and subscribe to his channel. Yeah, listen, man, your content's sick. You're laid back, you're chill. The conversation goes everywhere, and we should.
It really does go everywhere. Like we go off horrendously off topic.
But it's great. It's great. I think COVID rugged us because after the Hex event, a few of us got COVID, and then I think we got out of the rhythm of streaming together and stuff. But yeah, man, try and bring those Sunday nights back. And I'm not sure if I can make this weekend. I'm trying to move a few things around, but if I can, I'll definitely let you know.
This weekend, sadly, I won't. Well, to be fair, I could do it because after this Lambo event, it's going to be basically a Hex meetup, and I'm guessing we're all going to be out for food or like something. There's a lot of people coming, man. I think we've had about 65 tickets go out.
Sweet,
that's crazy, man. Like so many people.
It's a big crew. Yeah, I know Turbo and Hex can go coming down and stuff. So I'm trying to move a few things around. If I can, I want to be there. What time are you going to get there for?
It's at like midday, the actual event is. Okay, so cool. Anytime from then onwards, really. But yeah, so I probably won't do that this weekend, but maybe next weekend I'll bring it back.
Sure. Cool. Well, listen, man, thanks for coming on the channel, and you have to come back on soon, and we'll catch up again on your stream or
yeah, sure. Stream. Pleasure, sweet, man. Buddy. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Take care, mate. Hexy B, the man, the myth, the legend. Guys, go and subscribe to his channel and his Twitter. His streams are really chilled out. And yeah, like I said, those Sunday UK streaming sessions are a lot of fun. If you like content like this, guys, do hit that subscribe button and that bell icon so you're notified every time we drop new videos on the channel. You can also tap the like button and share the video with someone who you think it may benefit. And you can also drop a comment below for the algo. It does help us out. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.